what you made me do. Look what I made for you.
His name is
Old Man Way. I live by the funk. I die by the funk. Old Man Way. Old Man.
I'm about to do something terrible.
Old Man Way. Old Man. Old Man.
Nope, not doing this. We're not doing this.
Ha ha. Point. Old man. Old man. Old man. Old man. Let's get into something fun.
Yeah. We went from Halloween to that.
So
How does
initially,
JF Yeah,
what this
JFK
was
and
supposed to,
MLK.
initially what this was supposed to be, where we were going to talk about Star Wars and Disney. And
You know, the leads of marketing.
yeah, the mouse. And so I've been watching Ahsoka, and I didn't watch any of Clone Wars. Everyone tells me that I would absolutely love Clone Wars and how great it is, and people have sent me action scenes, and every action scene they send me I absolutely love. But I still went into Ahsoka blind, and so far I'm enjoying this as much as I did The Mandalorian, and I'm absolutely shocked by that, because I am one of those people who like a slow build, and maybe I'd like Westerns, because I love The Mandalorian, I love Firefly, so maybe I would like other Westerns. But there's something about Ahsoka's calm dominance, and like it's not, and like she's not, and she's kind of arrogant, and I kind of like it when like
she's sassy.
as hell, and it's not even like with words. It's just the look Rosario Dawson, like the very first time we see her, and she's like surrounded, and she's not phased at all. She gives this tiny little smirk, and I'm just like, oh, y'all done fucked up. Are you watching it?
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of gave up hope for after the last one. I don't even remember.
Yesterday's or
not yesterday's. The last series, not Ashoka. Shit. Or I'm sorry, I'm crossing Marvel here. They're just getting bad. But Ashoka's been good. Like Marvel and Star Wars, they've just kind of gotten progressively worse. Mandalorian is fantastic, but then the Boba Fett series was so boring.
I didn't even bother.
It's awful. It's not good. It only got good when they brought in the Mandalorian. But I went into Ashoka because I wanted to see Anakin Daddy, and I was happy.
Did you say Anakin Daddy?
Yes. He's hot, man.
Ray Stevenson?
No, wait. Is that his name?
With the beard?
Anakin Skywalker?
Oh, no, never mind.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's not his name. I think it's like Christian something. Doesn't matter. He's Anakin Daddy to me. And his Force Ghost can visit me. He is the Holy Ghost of Force Ghosts, okay? He brought balance to the Force and my pussy. And sorry.
I really wish I could use that as a title.
Just
I don't
dub.
So go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just I got into it for him, to see him at some point, but it's been good. The only one that I didn't love was last week's episode, because I just felt it was so much exposition and not Ashoka at all.
Yes, it's funny. So I have to cover these weekly, and I do like a kind of like a what to expect this week. And I actually said, don't be shocked if you don't see Ahsoka much in this episode, because we didn't see anything of Ren and the rest of them. So I think this is going to be a definitely heavy Ren and Thrawn episode. And a buddy of mine said, he's like, you need to watch Clone Wars because Thrawn's that dude. I'm like, yeah, but can Thrawn fight? And he was like, he doesn't need to.
We're catching up on Clone Wars. I've only seen like random episodes whenever they came on, but now we're watching it from the beginning, and it's so good. Like, there's a reason why people talk about it a lot. It does more for Star Wars than any of the latest movies, and half of the series that are going on or been produced in the past 5-6 years.
God, like it's funny you say that again, having a conversation with my buddy Javi, and we were talking about the Marvel Comics Star Wars series, which are connecting bits and pieces of stuff that went in between the movies and the TV shows and all that. And I'm learning so much about these characters that just weren't shown in the movies. And it's a lot of the things that people were telling me about the books.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that Darth Vader is an evil person. Like you don't get much of that in the movies. Like sure, yeah, like he's like, he's feared and da 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 da. But I remember watching it going, why is he feared? I don't get it. Well, like what's so scary about him? Like, yeah, the suit, that's all cool and all well. But then to see the stuff he did in the comic books and watch him drown a village of people for a lightsaber, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, he is just deplorable. And I want to see more. And then there's these other characters, like, and I've mentioned this 1,000 times on this podcast, like Dr. Aphra is just so goddamn good. Like, and I need to take a day to sit down and read everything that's Dr. Aphra, because every time I read her, I'm like, oh, this is great. And another thing that I'm realizing is the Star Wars lore. Han Solo and Luke Skywalker are bumbling idiots, and they are kind of highlighting it, and then watching them just like trip over themselves and almost completely fuck up. Meanwhile, Princess Leia is stopping a prison break with Dr. Aphra, and it's give
Yeah.
me that, give me that.
I kind of like that they recognize, like, because obviously this is after the movies and stuff came out. They're like, oh, we gotta really lay down why X, Y, and Z. And then watching it and be like, Luke's kind of an idiot, isn't he? Like, like what was it? Episode 6. Episode 6, his lightsabers in R2-D2 the entire fucking time, but it takes until the sand pit for it to come out. Did you forget? Like, or did R2-D2's like, oh no, now's the moment.
I love the Family Guy episode where R2-D2, oh Luke, I got the lightsaber. Did you need it? And he goes, yeah, about 5 minutes ago.
It's like they're just piecing it together. I don't get me wrong, I love a hero that I can relate to, because I'd be that kind of hero. I would forget that, oh yeah, I got an Uzi in the back of my PT Cruiser. Let me go get it.
You know what? That's a good question. Before we get into more Star Wars stuff, if you had to pick any fictional weapon, what do you pick?
Fictional weapon.
Because I'm going Thor's hammer immediately.
Oh, that is good. See, the thing is you're asking a girl, and Rapunzel's frying pan comes to mind. No, shit. What would I use?
While you're thinking about that,
Mhm.
riding with Maria today, and every time someone does something stupid on the road, I wish I was Magneto. Not because I want to do anything any damage to somebody. I just want to do really passive aggressive stuff to people. Like if someone cut me off, I would just lift their car up and put it in the opposite direction. You're like, nope,
Yes.
you fucked up, so you're gonna have to start this process all over again.
Yes. God, I honestly, it would be more of like superpowers that I would want, but weapon wise, I don't know. We'll say King Arthur's sword, because he just he threw it around. He's like, look, I'm king now, and everyone's like, okay, so I do that. That's my power. I'm a pacifist. So that,
yeah, I lifted this shit out the stone, so do what I say.
pretty much. Oh, but you're a white man. Ooh.
Oh, so you want the so you want white male privilege? Gotcha. That's the superpower you want.
Oh, you you pulled your testicles out of a rock. I get you.
The amount of things that are just like phallic, like just the amount of things that we look at are just like weapons that are just phallic shaped are just hilarious.
I was thinking, okay, back to the sand pit thing. I was thinking about that because like all of these like foreboding, powerful objects, places, things are all phallic, and then you get the sand pit. I'm like, that's a pussy. Men are scared of pussies. And there's so many things like that. I'm not wrong.
No,
I'll go full Sappho.
go ahead. I will sit here and listen.
I'm scared of my own. It does things every month. It's like, how? Why?
Hold on. Hold on. I'm subscribed to your Patreon. No, you're not.
Yeah.
So I started. So okay. So the new we talked about this. The new Star Wars series. The three most recent movies. Are they worth watching? Like I watched 7, 8. I started 9, and I just said, and I just didn't even bother.
If you started it, you should finish it. Just round it out. It like not saying it's 100% worth. It's not 100% worth it, but you went so far. I feel it's like you should. Maybe that's just me, but they're fine. I think them changing directors in between like 2 and 3 really fucked up any cohesive good storyline. I don't want a love story. I don't need a love story. Why'd you make it a fucking love story?
With two people who were never really like romantically involved, or like it was just I found out about that. I said, but there was never any like chemistry there.
Yeah, and then what the fuck happened with the random Jedi kid with the broom? That was my biggest thing is like, oh, so there is more like Jedi kids out there. Fuck them. Like, we don't need them. We got another Skywalker.
Who we don't know is actually really a Skywalker or not.
Yeah, and a Palpatine. We got a real Romeo and Juliet situation on our hands.
And the more I heard about it, I was like, and then do you know what it was? And this is matter of fact, this is coming from someone, me, who sat back and watched all 5 Twilight movies back to back to back to back to back and laughed the entire fucking series, except for that fourth one. That fourth one was a giant piece of shit. And it wasn't even funny. But those movies were entertaining as hell if you just go in there and watch them and you're just like, fuck it.
They are camp. They are camp, and I love it. And it's going to be up there with Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I will not take any Rocky. Well, actually, no. I know you're not slandering because I know
I'm not. It's totally different. It's a different kind of movie, but that's how I see it happening because people are starting to love those movies for the craziness.
Yeah, and I just have to say it. I'm upstairs creating a man with blonde hair and a tan, and
he's so hot.
That is my that's one of my happy music songs. And I plan on, and me and Marie keep saying we're gonna do the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I'm gonna dress as Frankenfurter. I have to. Like I fucking love that character. Like I even felt bad for him at the. Okay, we're going off topic.
Yeah.
So they're worth watching, but
there are some there's some moments that are really truly badass. Like Kylo Ren in the first one stopping the laser bullet. I don't even know what you want to call it. But he stops that with the Force. They've never done that before. That was fucking cool. And I don't know. There's some things where I enjoyed it. The first movie, especially 7, I think it is. Yeah. Where it's just like, okay, this is everything that I missed about Star Wars. And it's not a prequel. It's good. Sure, they made another Death Star again. But
it's the fucking Death Star.
Yeah, how many are we going to make? But I walked away happy. I'm not a fanboy of Star Wars by any means, but I walked away like, oh fuck yeah, that was fun. That was a good 2.5 hours of me just loving all of it. So on face value, I think they're good. If you want to really get into the lore and then really get into like the story of it, it's not. And there's definitely problems, but the first one was great. The second one was good, still had really good parts. I didn't understand Space Vegas or letting the horses out.
It was like there was a good 30 to 45 minutes in the movie that didn't need to exist.
Right? It like that was pointless. How far did you get into that's what it was. Or yeah. How far did you get into the last one?
I don't even know. I just remember a dark cave and I think giant skinny people.
Okay, so that was pretty close to the end, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, I
There's
didn't even see Palpatine. Palpatine. That's how far I go. How far I got it. I got maybe 30
he
minutes.
shows up in the okay. He shows up in like the last 10 minutes or
Yeah.
something.
I only got through the first like 20 or 30, and I'm just like, can we cut this off? And she's like, yes. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. The last one's the most frustrating. The first two, it's like, okay, sure, all right. Okay, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was dumb. It just they're worth folding laundry to. That's how I see it. You're doing mundane chores, it's on in the background.
I have some articles to write tomorrow. I will watch that tomorrow when I do that. So I'm gonna mention some live action Star Wars shows.
Mhm.
Let me know if you've watched it, and if you've watched it, let me know what you think. We've already talked about Boba Fett. I'm gonna guess you're gonna go with skip Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Love it. I know it's fan service. Don't care. Love it.
I mean, well, fan service is supposed to be good. If you make bad fan service, then
Oh yeah. It I felt like maybe they tried a little bit hard to make it up to Leia as a kid. Like we fucked over Leia so many times. Let's give it to her as a kid. But then if you think about it chronologically, you fucked her over again. Like
oh god.
but
Now I want to watch it.
you haven't seen it?
Oh, the only ones I've watched were The Mandalorian and Ahsoka.
Ashoka? Dude, okay. They're not all wonderful. But I've watched that last episode a couple times. The fight
what?
scene is good.
Of Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of Obi-Wan and Anakin. They have amazing chemistry. Just
It's the same
acting
actor
wise.
from the
It's Ian McGregor and what is his name? I'm gonna feel bad if I don't know it.
I have it up right now. It's Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen, so not Christian. But yeah, they have wonderful chemistry together. And it, in my thought, it kind of puts the last puzzle piece into place on how like when Ben tells Luke that your father was killed by a Sith, like they put that piece in. It's done. I think it's done well. It looks fucking cool. And again, Anakin daddy, like it's it's good. I recommend it.
And I just want to say this, that the best acting in any of the Star Wars movies was "You were the chosen one." And like
Oh
that
yeah.
whole scene was just like, it was heartbreaking. Like he literally was just like you really felt bad for him.
Oh, I want to tell you so fucking bad.
All right,
There's a scene. Oh, there's a scene where Anakin just and you okay.
I'll watch it and I'll text you as I watch it.
Thank you.
Andor.
Watched it. It was meh in my opinion. Like it again, a lot of exposition, not too bad.
Okay.
It just
It's more
it doesn't
background stuff.
It was more background stuff. It leads up to Rogue One. Not gonna lie, was kind of high for some of them. So I can't remember it all, but Hubs was a big fan of Andor, where I was just like, it's okay. I understand why they had to do it. You gotta, if you're going to build this huge backstory, you might as well show it.
And we talked about Ahsoka. Bad Batch.
Didn't watch it. That was the one I was talking about. Not the Marvel Nick Cage one. Nick Cage? No, Nick Fury. Didn't watch that one. I heard bad things.
Secret Invasion wasn't. I'll put it to you like this. Do you enjoy Marvel Comics movies and shows?
Up until Endgame. And WandaVision. WandaVision's good.
You won't like this.
Okay.
The acting, stupendous. The acting is absolutely. The acting is amazing. Like
that's a shame. Like because Samuel L. Jackson's a great fucking actor, and I'm glad that they're giving this character the screen time because he's fucking stuck in end credits for like 9 movies.
So,
but the story.
The reason I say it like that is because they didn't stick the landing. And if you don't stick the landing, it kind of ruins everything. Like, I love Dexter, but that last episode left such a bad taste in my mouth that it ruined the entire series for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
agreed.
If you're bored, or drinking, and you kind of just want to watch Nick and you want to watch Samuel L. Jackson be Samuel L. Jackson, watch it. You will not be disappointed in Samuel L. Jackson. You won't be disappointed in his Skrull best friend, and you will not be disappointed in the main antagonist. However, I still haven't really figured out what it lacks yet. You know what I mean? Like, you ever watch a show and you're like, when you
there's something.
Yeah, like you eat a meal and like you're not hungry, but you still feel like something was missing.
Yes, all the time.
It's just like that. Again, I've seen your videos. There's no way you're still like hungry after eating all that delicious food. So there was that. So 3 questions for you. Who is the worst Star Wars character of all time?
Like the gut, not the gut, just the reflex is Jar Jar. Because what the fuck? Like, they meant well. They wanted the kids' merchandise. I was a kid when it came out. So, like, I literally had friends that had Jar Jar posters and stuff. He was supposed to be the guy for us to get us into Star Wars. Didn't work. Yeah. The worst Star Wars character.
See, I go Anakin Skywalker in episode 1.
Yeah, just he's a kid.
Like, and it's not even his fault.
You know what? It's his mom. That's the worst. You're just going to give your kid to 2 men you don't know that said they'll take care of him. That bitch is the worst Star Wars character.
And if you want to do a call,
and you don't know who his dad is, you just woke up pregnant.
And if we're gonna go back to the original religious part of this, like you gave him to 2 religious fanatics, no.
Yeah, you just gave your.
Nope.
It's hers. She's the bad one. Got it.
Who's
Bet
the best?
she doesn't celebrate Halloween.
Who's the best?
The best? You're not gonna like me. BB-8.
Who?
BB-8.
BB-8. Why am I not? Wait, hold on.
BB-8.
It better not be who I think it is. Oh, come on. I knew that's who.
He can give a thumbs up. It's so cute.
So I can't talk shit because my favorite character is actually C-3PO.
Okay, yeah. He throws shade too.
He's
like, if you don't remember me, I'm C-3PO. It's like, you fucking know.
He is a sassy motherfucker. Yeah. It's like, oh no, we'll just go do this then, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. He's up there.
I will say the best. I will say though, I think the best Star Wars character, honestly, is Jin Djarin, the Mandalorian. Like, because
Yes.
in 3 seasons, I've never seen someone really just that developed. Like, you know what I mean? And I started watching season 1 again just because like I loved it that much. And seeing
Yeah.
just what he was in the very first season to adopting uh Grogu at the end. Like again, I cried again. When he adopted, he was just like, and for now and forever, you will be like Jin Grogu. I was like, oh my god, I'm crying over here over this. Like it was great. And then seeing him in the end, it's like, they're in there, like they have their own place, their own land, and all that. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
this is absolutely perfect. And I said to myself, you should end the Mandalorian now. No more. Stop. Just end it there.
Right before
Like,
they get into the religion stuff.
yes, like they can do the Mandalorian, but just leave Pedro Pascal out of it.
You know what? I think if I'm being 100% honest, the best Star Wars character, in my opinion, would be the chick from Rogue One.
You got me there.
She like that movie is probably the best Star Wars movie out of all of
Oh,
the
yes,
movies.
no. I don't think that's even up for debate. Rogue One is easily the best Star Wars movie.
It's so good. And like it even gets in the classic Star Wars with like Darth Vader at the end. And someone on TikTok made a video and they're like, Darth Vader is such a like dramatic little bitch because he turned off his breathing apparatus and he turned off his lights just so he could turn them on and scare the fuck out of those people before he massacred them.
Oh,
And
Darth Vader is a true villain. He knows exactly what he's doing.
oh, that movie, it's so good. It's so good and it perfectly leads up to the first. And she like honestly, there was no love story. It was her being selfless
Yeah, it
and
was
trying
kind
to
of a love
honor.
story, but it had nothing.
Not really.
I'm
There
talking
was
about with
companionship. They hugged each other because they're about to die.
I truly believe that they were in. I truly believe that Chira, is that his name? He's played by Donnie, and I truly believe he was
Yeah.
in love with him. I truly believe they were in love, and I like in the way he died, the way his friend reacted to him, like that's not I love my best friend like rage. That is I love you, like I'm in love with you rage. And I completely. Do you watch Supernatural?
No, I haven't.
There's a scene where are you going to watch it? I don't want to spoil anything.
No, probably not.
Okay. There's a scene where one of the angels was running around with the Winchesters, and before he dies, he looks at Dean and goes, "I love you." And Dean kind of looks at him, and then Castiel looks back at him, and then the actor Misha Collins goes, "Yeah, Castiel's bisexual. Castiel loved him, like he loved him, like he wanted to, like be with him." And that's kind of how I took their relationship because it's it's a little different when like and I looked at it like the way I look at my best friend
Mm.
and like how comfortable like I've been to a nude beach with my best friend. Like you know what I mean? We are that comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
And it's like there's still a level of emotion that went in an emotion and annoyance. The kind of annoyance they had for each other only comes from someone who loves each other romantically.
I guess part of me doesn't want to because I just hate that female leads have to have a romantic
Oh no.
aspect.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about
Oh,
the blind guy and
oh, the blind guy. Oh, yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
yes, I'm talking about them. Those
No,
are
oh
who
yeah,
I'm talking about. They are
no,
definitely like
yeah.
I think they either were romantic or the dude with the gun wanted to be romantic with them. Like and it was the way he like just unloaded after that. I was like,
Yeah, no, there was more than you just killed my best friend. You just killed my soulmate.
mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I'm sorry. Their names are all like
Oh, there's no
5
rhyme or reason
different
to any of them.
syllables. It's just
It's like 18 syllables and 4 vowels.
yeah, and then you get Luke.
Luke Han, and then there's like Leia, and it's like I have to Google how to spell Leia every time I
Yeah,
write it.
but everyone else is like OBJ La Buddha.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. Oh God.
Um, Okay, and who is, you ready for this? Who is
Mhm.
the sexiest Star Wars character?
I think I already gave that away.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it's Daddy Obi, no, Daddy Anakin.
yep, Anakin Daddy.
So
Yeah, he's hot.
I I may be okay. I have two answers.
Mhm.
Part of me wants to say Ren, specifically because I love that rebel go fuck yourself. You can't tell me what to do vibe that she has.
Mhm.
However, even as a heterosexual man, Jin is kind of hot. Like Danny
I
Pascal
don't.
is kind of hot.
No, he totally is, and the thing is like I think we all know him first. Not to say like that was his start, but we know him from Game of Thrones. He
Oh
was,
my god, he was a smooth
oh my
motherfucker in that.
fucking god, his death hurt in that show.
It really did. Do you know? I didn't realize how many times I'd seen him in projects until The Last of Us started. And I was like, why does he look so familiar? And Maria was like, he's been in a ton of shit. So I went to IMDb. I was like, oh, I remember all of this. I remember the episode of SVU when I was like, oh yeah, you did this shit.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that. Have you seen the movie he did with Nick Cage?
I watched it last week and loved every minute of it.
It is beautiful how he picks up on his mannerisms,
Mm.
and just it is a good movie. He reminds me of like Daniel Radcliffe on how they can do these really obscure, off the wall movies and make it good, like really fun.
Do you watch any of the Fast and Furious movies?
Not, I had to stop after the first 19 personally.
Watch. I'm just gonna say this. Watch 10.
10.
When the
Okay.
most recent one, if you have Peacock, it's on Peacock. And when I tell you that Jason Momoa is the best character to ever step foot in that, and this is why I know you'll appreciate it. It's Jason Momoa doing an impression of Jack Sparrow.
Oh God, that has to be good.
Oh,
Okay.
it's perfection personified. So Disney, we can kind of fly by through this if you need to. Little Mermaid live and animated. What did you think?
I loved it. I think it's probably one of the better ones. And Halle Bailey is like the perfect Ariel. Ursula, like, I feel that McCarthy did good, but there was like some comments like her saying, look at her stupid feet. Ursula wouldn't say that. Ursula doesn't need to say that, you know?
I wish they would have gotten an actual drag queen to play Ursula.
Oh, for sure. Like, I know they wouldn't ever do it because the fact that they were able to sneak in Ursula in the animated version as is was pretty big
That's
in the
true.
first place. But McCarthy didn't need to put that kind of spin on it because, in my opinion, I don't think Ursula needs to make those kind of comments because she is much more smarter than that to then say, look at that, her stupid feet. That just, it doesn't feel like Ursula.
Ursula was something else though. Like she's also on my list of like the best Disney villains. And
Mm-hmm.
because it's the go ahead, make a choice. Like it was just like no matter what she looked like, she exuded confidence.
For
And
sure.
she wanted you to know that she was like, I'm the shit. And there's nothing you can tell me about it, regardless of my tentacles and my looks. Fuck you. And I love that. And I thought, and I really liked Jenny McCarthy as this. I honestly thought that I wanted Queen Latifah. I know she did it in like
Oh, she would, the photo shoot with what's her name? They did that villain's photo shoot in like late 2000s. But she would have been great.
yeah, I would have loved someone like Queen Latifah to have done that, but or I get Melissa McCarthy and I think Melissa McCarthy is she falls in that in that Jim Carrey category of she did a bunch of
Oh,
wacky stuff, but she's actually a lot
yeah.
better than that.
There is one scene where she's like, what? and like she lifts up her lip and stuff. And like that made me laugh. Like she is good. And the fact that they made Ursula her tentacles glow in the dark or whatever, bioluminescence, that was sick. It was a good movie. It was one of my it is my favorite live action.
Visually stunning. How did it is the animated one worth going back to watch? I've seen it, but do you think it's worth going back to watch?
Oh yeah. Like that kicked off the Disney Renaissance for sure. Like you can just see all the trends from that movie echo into Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Pocahontas, that kind of stuff.
I thought about that. You seen the Aladdin live action?
I have, and I have mixed feelings about it. It's not bad. The first 20 minutes or so, I almost left just because I thought it was.
You saw it in theaters?
I did.
Ooh.
Yeah. I thought it was too much like that one video game where he's hanging off of everything, Uncharted. Because he was just hanging off of buildings, and Will Smith as the genie is not Robin Williams. I don't know. It's just one of those that's you can't put a spin on that will be better. Why would you put out something that's not at least equal, you know?
So,
and it wasn't.
I'll say this. Two things about what you just said. First off, Aladdin was the worst part of Aladdin.
Yeah. Well, what about Jafar? Jafar kind of sucked. Not kind of.
Jafar sucked in comparison to the animated version. I don't think Jafar sucked in general. I thought he was a different Jafar, and I kind of left it as it is because I like what they did with him, but he still wasn't like flamboyant. Girl, you're getting catfished.
Yeah.
I like Jafar, but he wasn't like. I like a lot of my Disney villains to be sassy. Disney villains have to be sassy. I feel like all of them have to be sassy.
Well,
it's a staple.
Sorry to interrupt. The animator that did all the big villains for the time, like Jafar, Gaston, I think Ursula, they're all queer coded because the animator that designed them, he's gay. Andre, I forget his last name, but he's gay. And of course, like, not to get into like the side of the 90s where being gay was bad, but they all had that sass. They all were a little bit queer coded, and I love it because Jafar is totally a guy I want to take to brunch.
Andreas Deha.
Yeah, that guy. He has a cool ass goatee.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense though, because honestly, like, I really feel, and I can't tell you. I'll tell you off air. Something you and Hubs told me about that. Something you and Hubs told me about that I'm working on. But like, for example, you'll get your reward, your eternally reward. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
dude, villains should be. Love Magneto. Magneto is flamboyant. Love Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is flamboyant. And like, not flamboyant, sassy. Magneto is sassy. Doctor Doom is sassy. Mr. Sinister in the new comic books, like, he's so sassy that he talks about his cape and how, like, I don't understand why I had to give up my cape to save the world. And at one point he says, what do he say? He goes, he calls this dude's wife a cow, and he goes, lady such and such is with child. He goes, oh, I hope it's not with you. And I was like, damn, man. Like,
it's confidence. The good villains have just confidence.
Yes.
And they're charismatic because they don't get to be the supervillain by not being self-assured or charismatic. And that doesn't mean queer coded by some way, but definitely I don't know, the little flair, the little like shoulder lean, stuff like that. That's just it makes them so much better.
I use antlers in all of my decorating.
Yeah.
And
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just
I
gonna
could
say
go
the other
on.
thing about Robin Williams is I listen to I have both I have all the Robin Williams songs and all the Will Smith Aladdin songs on my iPhone.
Mhm.
And the Will Smith songs are quote unquote better. However, the Robin Williams songs are more entertaining. Because the Will Smith songs, they're more produced. There's like, like there's some auto tune to it, as opposed to Robin Williams, who was just being Robin Williams. And
Yeah,
somehow
he didn't really need to necessarily sing. It's just he could put feeling into his voice that that other guy, Will Smith, couldn't do. My mind blanked.
yeah, fancy there. I love the feathers. But
Yes.
yeah, like that's just one of those things where it's like it just is what it is. Um, I'm gonna say this. I think the Aladdin animated movie is worth watching. I don't know if the live action one's worth watching, but the woman who played Jasmine was easily the best part of that movie.
Oh yeah, and the sets and the costumes, cool, like badass. Like there was production value, but
Yes.
no, I won't ever watch it again. I'll
Names
definitely watch the animated version probably 100 more times in my life, just because
absolutely.
it's a great comfort movie.
Yeah. Naomi Scott is the woman's name. Beauty and the Beast. I don't really remember the cartoon. I think I may have seen it once or twice. I've heard the Gaston song a million times. I sing it. I know it word for word. I will literally you can literally hear me singing it while washing dishes. Like Gaston opera song. You have not lived till you heard me sing. Um, when I was a lad, I ate 2 dozen eggs. I have seen the live when me and Maria went to Hawaii and we only had a few channels on the deck because we couldn't get Wi-Fi. It was one of those channels they played that Lego Batman and something else a bunch. I have watched the live action Beauty and the Beast more times than I would like to admit, and I've enjoyed it every single time.
Ooh,
I don't
and
go ahead.
oh, I feel it has so much potential and some really really strong marks. Like the guy that played Gaston, I can't remember his name. I know he's a country music singer and he's pretty good looking, but with him and LeFou and they're standing or they're with their horses and LeFou says je ne sais quoi and Gaston's like, I don't know what that means. And it's French for I don't know. Just that it was so good.
Luke
Um
Evans.
Luke Evans, there we go. Like love that. And then the costumes outside of Belle's dress was amazing. Belle's dress sucks so much. It is an awful, ugly dress. And I'm just going to be honest about it. Um,
It doesn't have it's one of those moments where sometimes it doesn't the it, like it doesn't have the flair that the other one did.
it doesn't. And it just kind of falls flat and it doesn't really honor what the original dress was. It outside of being the same color.
It doesn't have
Evermore,
that
that
poof
song is
either.
great. Oh, did you know Ian McGregor was Lumiere? Obi-Wan?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So
and
it has great potential and it's good, but there's so many parts where it fails hard, in my opinion.
Ian McKellen was the clock. I want to say.
Cogsworth, yeah. And then oh shit. The lady that is in Saving Mr. Banks, she's Mrs. Potts. She's in everything else. She's in that movie with Will Ferrell about the writing
Emma
and
Thompson.
that one.
I'm literally on the IMDb right now.
Yeah, there's so many great actors and like good performances. Emma Watson's great. Can't sing,
I
not at all. Um,
don't even. I don't even. I remember them hiding her singing with beautiful background music.
yeah, it's pretty. The movie is so pretty. Again, more production value. Like I love Beauty and the Beast so much. It was the theme to my first wedding. I
Oh,
shit you not. So I really love Beauty and the Beast. So to see it here was a little disappointing because there's so many big things that didn't do well, but there's so many small things that really did do wonderfully well. It's conflicting.
I can understand that. Like, it's kind of just there. You know what I mean? I kind of,
Yeah.
I know it did numbers, but I also kind of feel like kind of people didn't really care.
Yeah. The luster off of the live actions were definitely dying off, especially after that one. I think Little Mermaid kind of rekindled an interest, but the Snow White one that's coming out looks awful.
I didn't even know there was. I thought they already did a. No, they did a Cinderella that I've never seen.
Cinderella was the first one, and it's actually pretty good.
Is it?
Yes, it has its own take, but it's not so crazy that it's off the wall. It's good. I actually like that one. Same with it has the same vibe as Maleficent, where it's
Okay.
true to the story, but it's a little bit different and it's entertaining. It's not beat for beat like some of the remakes are, where it's like, why did we spend money on this?
I know you didn't see it, but the live action Lion King was a giant piece of shit. I saw it in a drive-in. It it came on before. I'm not sure if it was the first or second Angry Birds, but whatever movie was before that, I enjoyed that more than I did the Lion King. And the people in the drive-in who were around the vehicle we were in were laughing more at me being annoyed by this movie than they were about the actual movie. The live action Lion King was a giant piece of shit. No one should watch it. Do not watch the sound. Do not listen to the soundtrack. It is a giant. It's like whatever you think of the worst sports team and whatever your favorite sports is. That plus crap. It
I
sucks.
just won't. Yeah, I won't watch it out of principle because it's not fucking live action. Like that's the base is live action. It just you can't get the expressions going back to villains. Scar is definitely queer.
Oh yeah,
And you don't get that when you map it onto a CG lion. That's part of the intrigue is to see Whoopi Goldberg as a goddamn hyena. Like it's not the same.
no kings, no kings, la 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 la
Yeah.
la la. Jeremy Irons, come on, man.
I know. Jim Cummings did the singing voice. Cummings is like a god. That man can step in and do anything.
And then, oh god, then they tried to recreate, and I like the dude who plays Scar, but it was just bad. They did a spoken word version of Be Prepared, and
Oh,
I remember going, and this is why I know people laughed at, it, and they started doing a song, and like after the second stanza, I go, "What the fuck is this?" And then people busted out laughing because I'm like, "This is stupid." I was like, "Okay, you know what? I'm good." My wife may or not have been high as shit, laughing her ass off at my annoyance by this entire fucking movie. Oh god, it made me so mad.
yeah, I will not watch it. I have no desire at all. And when they announced it, I'm like, you're kidding. You're kidding. Live action? It just no.
Live
No,
action.
thank you.
As you said, it's not live action.
Yeah.
All right. Two more and I'll get you the fuck out of here. Pirates of the Caribbean. The trilogy.
Love,
Not the stuff that comes. Oh, there we go.
love it. Love it. Love it. Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. First time, like I think it came out when I was 11 or 12.
God damn.
And sorry, puberty hit and Jack Sparrow was the guy. So outside of that, just Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride at Disneyland, that's my family's favorite ride. When we went to Disneyland, that's the first ride we always rode when we went to the parks. And the movie was just so fucking awesome. The story got kind of muddled, but didn't care because it was entertaining.
And that's the best part about it. Like it's the story. I think the story is good. There are some moments where you're like, huh? But you don't really care because it's
It's
Pirates.
fun.
It's
Yeah.
like
And the end where they're in like the large whirlpool and they get married and stabbing the heart. It's just like, oh my god, there's just so much
Yeah. Oh,
coolness going
just
on.
kiss.
Yes. Ah, Jeffrey Rush. Yes, just all yes.
I don't, and I think my favorite moment of that movie, and there's excuse me, that trilogy, and there's so many moments to go on.
Mhm.
It's the second one when Jack's about to die, and the Kraken like just yells at his face. He just wipes the
Yeah.
slime off his face, and he just has this like, and he just still. And people forget Jack Sparrow. He's not really a coward. He's just kind of like, if I don't have to fight, I won't. And
Mhm.
he just dives at it, blaze of glory. And
Hello, Beastie.
I respect the shit out of that. Just if you're gonna go like
Yeah. In a blaze of glory. Yeah. I love the original trilogy. I I remember the first time I watched it was at my grandparents' house, and immediately after I went upstairs and I found some black eyeshadow and I painted my fucking eyes like Jack Sparrow, and I was 11, 12. And then the last movie, I remember getting midnight tickets in Fallon, Nevada, and it was like a 30-seat theater because it was so fucking small. But yeah, just core
yeah.
memories all the way.
All right. And last thing I'm gonna say is I'm just gonna say this so I can let you know. Do not, I repeat, do not make a live action movie of my favorite Disney project. Do not make a live action Emperor's New Groove. I
Oh
will
no.
I plead to the gods. Please don't. It's a perfect cast. It's a perfect voice acting cast. It's John Goodman, uh, the dude from Saturday Night Live, whose name I can never
David
remember.
Spade.
David Spade, Patrick Warburton, um, Eartha Kitt. Like, how do you top that?
You can't.
And
And that movie was supposed to flop anyways, and they turned around and made it brilliant.
that movie was supposed to flop.
Okay, it was supposed to be a totally different movie called like The King of the Rising Sun or something like that. It was supposed to be much more traditional Disney, and the
Oh,
script fell apart. The director, writer, something big left, and they kind of pieced it together from what they had and turned it into what it is. That's why it's so fun.
it seems so random. It doesn't take. I always say something when like whenever I'm at work, I go, "Hey, I'm a cow. Can I go home?" And like me, Maria, Javi, and his wife Shanice, we were all watching it, and me and Shanice love this movie. So me and Shanice are literally word for word. If you put the movie on, I can recite it word for word. And so I'm doing a part, she's doing a part, we're laughing our asses off, and they're both looking at us going, "Really? This is the movie y'all do?" If you understood my love for the Emperor's New Groove, and I think it's because it's just I feel like that movie is like me. There's like Cusco is so goddamn stubborn that he
Mhm.
just doesn't want to admit that he's wrong. And then when he has to go admit that he's wrong, he has to hold his head down. He walks over. And then I transform into John Goodman character when he goes, "Don't even apologize. Do you want to go?" Like that's how I would do. Like, you don't need to apologize. Let's just get this going over with. And then it's just the goofiness of it all. Right, the poison. Cusco's poison. The poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison. Like it's like, oh my god. Like, and it's again. If I had to pick a perfect Disney anime movie, I'm probably going that. I love The Emperor's New Groove.
It's definitely up there. It's the most quoted Disney movie. I personally do. Like my spinach puffs, you know? Or when like when Yzma starts to lift up their skirt and they're like, oh, and it's a knife, they're like, oh, okay.
Oh,
it it's such
ah,
a
you threw off my groove. I'm sorry. You threw off the Emperor's groove.
sorry. The movie's great. It really is. And it was, I think it's before Shrek too.
Yeah, I think it may be.
Like if we're getting into the tongue-in-cheek animated movie era, I think it was before, or it came out like back to back, because it feels like everything changed after those movies.
The a year apart. Emperor's New Groove was 2000. Shrek was 2001.
Okay, yeah. After that, it feels like every animated movie just wanted to fuck off with fairy tales and now make fun of it, which I'm fine with for the most part. But yeah, Emperor's New Groove is fantastic. They were in production for a live action Lilo Stitch.
Oh, why?
Yeah. I don't know. They shouldn't. It like half of that movie's greatness is how gorgeous it is because it's watercolored.
Oh, I got a buddy who said it best. He goes, "Frozen is basically a weak version of Lilo and Stitch. The whole like sisterly love and all that other stuff, and like
Oh, okay. I'm thinking like, how is Lilo and Stitch Anna and Elsa? But you're right. It's like giving up your personal dreams to protect family and familial love. Yeah, that totally tracks.
in my favorite. And this wasn't from the movie, and I'm so upset that I remember this because I remember watching the cartoon like TV series, and
Mhm.
Lilo was like, "Did you have cake? Did you have coffee, Stitch?" And then Stitch goes, "Coconut cake and coffee."
Stitch is a great character. He's a great little one-off, but like he does not need to be 3D.
Mm-mm.
They're making a live action Moana, and that movie's not even 10 fucking years old.
Nope, don't do it.
They are. The Rock is behind it because, of course, The Rock's behind it. It's not like Black Adam kind of showed that maybe we don't need to put The Rock in everything. Um,
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever said this on here, but I can't stand The Rock.
oh,
All right, I'm gonna say this. I feel like The Rock and I know I got some slack for this before, but I'll say it again. I don't give a fuck. The Rock is black when it's convenient for him.
oh,
Um, The Rock's father is black. His mother is Samoan. The Rock is all in on his Samoan culture, which I appreciate. Like my wife is mixed, and it's like so when you have this balance of something, like how do you choose one more than the other? Like you know what I mean?
yeah.
You kind of have to do that. The only time The Rock ever brings up his black side is when it's convenient for him and when it's gonna make him money. He seems
I
very phony, and I could be 1,000% wrong, and I hope I'm wrong.
mm,
Like I really do, but like it's just my perception of it. And if someone goes, "Well, he was on Ebony," I'm like, "Yeah, because it benefited him." What has he done since then?
I didn't know he was half black. Like I didn't even know. Uh, I just think he plays The Rock. You know that was my gripe with him. He just plays himself, which it works for some people because going back to Pirates of the Caribbean, Johnny Depp kind of just plays Johnny Depp. You know,
Ryan
um,
Reynolds plays
ex-
Ryan Reynolds.
it can work, but yeah, I didn't know that, and
Give it a
that
Google. Like
can.
it's one of those things where like me and my best friend, we talk about this fairly often, and I've had debates with people about this, and I could be 1,000% wrong, but it's like just from what I see with The Rock and Dwayne Johnson does, it's just my little like it's not a hill I'm gonna die on. Like if someone says they disagree and the arguments gets heated, I'll go, okay, we can agree to disagree. I'm not dying on this. But just
Yeah.
from what I've seen, it's whatever. And honestly, the Rock's movies haven't garnered the attention that they normally would, specifically because we're in a different era right now. People don't want to spend money to go see certain movies because it's like leaving the house, spending money on gas, spending money to get into the theaters, spending money on the concession.
Mm-hmm.
Like then you gotta hope that it's assigned seating, so you're not sitting next to somebody. Then you gotta hope that the person you're sitting next to it's. And then if you want to drink, then it's like, God, if I drink, am I gonna have to pee at the worst moment? There's just so much going on. So, do you want to spend the money to go see a movie featuring The Rock?
No, like personally, but I'm not the demographic. I think we last saw Barbie in theaters just because of the hype. Before that, the only movie that I really only wanted to see in theater because of the experience was Spider-Verse. Don't
And
regret it.
oh my God, we talked about that via text. I was actually gonna say, like, I was excited to see that. It was beautiful. Oh my God,
Oh
like
my God, right?
the amount of the different animation, the different characters, the different personalities, the storyline, the twist at the end when like Miles reveals that like he's been playing them for the last like 15 minutes of the movie, and you're like, oh, and then the twist at the end that I won't mention just in case someone hasn't seen it yet. It's I so far it's my vote for best comic book movie of the year.
Oh, easily, hands down. Like there's no question in my mind. I think it's best animated movie. It just they've done
Probably,
so much.
yeah. And I love the Super Mario Brothers movie. I someone put it on Twitter, and I was at work and I watched it all on Twitter on my phone. But then when it popped, up on Peacock, I watched it with Maria, and she loved it. I was singing Peaches for the next like 5 days, and that was great. And
Oh, it was good. My friend worked on it. I can't speak bad about it.
that's so good.
I don't have anything bad to say anyways. Like Chris Pratt actually did a pretty decent job
And
as
people
Mario.
are like, oh, how come he didn't do it? I'm like, do we really need the woohoo accent? Like,
And
we don't.
after 2 hours, you would want him to die.
Exactly. Oh, what
Yeah.
was it? And then the Barbie movie was fantastic. Oh my God.
It I I like this I liked it. What gets me a little conflicted, like literally walking out of the theater, I told Hubs, I'm worried that men are going to see this and it's not going to help. They're going to feel what women feel all the time, and it's just going to make it worse. Because it wasn't exactly an olive branch per se. It's like, how do you feel being in our place? And there's no resolution. And that's kind of the point. But I feel like, especially with the backlash now, I feel a bit right about it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I
I
loved it. Like, I loved pointing out, I owned that Barbie. I owned that Barbie. It was great. I was really worried. I'm like, the social fallout from the people that don't understand the point is just going to make it even more exasperated.
like you're gonna get more mansplaining.
Kinda. And then there was, and I'm like, I feel vindicated. Wait, I also feel like a man now. Fuck. Like it was great. Like I just walked away liking it. And then when I really thought about it, I'm like, oh, I really hope it doesn't turn that way.
This is one of those moments where I can understand. I get what you're saying, but as a man, I don't understand. As a black man, I get what you're saying, but I also understand that there's a level of shit that goes on when you're a woman that I just can't compute. Like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
I
So
thought they did a really good job with Ken, though, like going into the real world and just seeing how it was dominated and kind of
yeah,
like being like, I have power here. And then feeling like, I don't want to say emasculated because I don't think they were emasculated at all in Barbie world, but they were just in the background. Like behind every successful man is a woman, you know,
I
that.
never realized how sexist that was until you just said. I never
Yeah.
realized it. Oh,
Um, I think they did a really good job. And then like the resolution of you just got to work on yourself and just got to go and make yourself the best possible you can be. I knew in the back of my mind, like some people aren't going to be happy with that. They're not going to be happy that they just got to feel kind of shit on for a little bit.
you know what? And that's fine, honestly.
It is.
Because like sometimes you need. I'm a firm believer that everybody needs to be punched in the face at least once, and I don't mean that literally. Sometimes maybe it's literally, sometimes it's metaphorically, but I feel like everybody needs that one moment where you're like, "Who am I?"
Yeah.
And for some people, maybe Barbie was that moment. And I know that sentence alone sounds weird, but it may be true. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all need that reality check where it's like, all right, maybe I'm not as good as I say I am in terms of like morality, or maybe I need to like self-examine maybe I need to have some self-examination.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about like Barbie as the character. She can't be one all be all, fits every box. She just has to do what makes her feel content. And like she's not that great. Like her going to the middle school and just being talked down to for the first time is like, oh, I've seen that happen in real life a few times. Like it, it's good. It's a good movie. And like, even if you don't even think about it in the big terms, it's just fun.
I agree.
Uh
And Will
and
Ferrell was the perfect person to play like,
Lord Business.
yeah, oh my god. Honest Trailers made a joke about that.
Did
Lord
they?
Business. Yeah, and he goes, Lord Business. I mean,
I just watched the second Lego movie the other day, and
it was
it
good, but it wasn't as good as the first one.
no, not at all. Like it was entertaining. I made it while I was drawing. Like I could watch it while I was working.
You're part of a team.
Yeah. My favorite part of the Barbie movie was when they're all at the campfire and all the Kens are playing guitar, singing that one goddamn song. Because I swear it happened to me in real life when I was
Oh
17.
god.
It is real. That's not fake. I don't know where guys think that that's romance, but it was at some point.
Oh, what song did I play? Push by Matchbox 20.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Or
don't
Wonderwall, or like just you know the
I
guy that
remember
can play Smoke on the Water.
I remember listening to them singing this, and I looked at Maria like, "What the fuck are these lyrics?" She goes, "This is an actual song." I go, "No, the fuck it's not." She goes, "This is an actual song." I go, "This song is awful and disgusting."
Yep. but it's sexy and you're supposed to like it.
Uh, are
I
you not?
like the movie. I haven't seen Oppenheimer though. I don't know
Uh,
if I want to.
so I didn't want to see it. Um, a podcaster and comedian that I really respect and like talked about the acting and broke down like how like directing this many like A-list and possibly ego-driven characters. I want to see it for that. I don't give a shit about Oppenheimer like at all, but I
Uh-huh.
kind of want to see it because of that.
I like the build up to the movie coming out. I listened to a few podcasts and they were all talking about the Manhattan Project and the fallout from the bombs dropping. I'm like, I'm kind of tapped out for all of this human tragedy. I don't want to watch it for entertainment. I want to go see Barbie. That will make me feel better about the genders.
Oh, also, if you need a laugh, Maria wore pink. Had a I forget what color her scrunchie was, but she had a little ponytail to the side. Um,
I love that.
I wore my I think I wore my flamingo shirt, but I can't remember. But I wore something Ken-ish. Like we went there and made it a whole like vibe, like because she couldn't wait to go see it, and she was even more excited when she found out how much money it was making. She goes, "Oh, now I definitely want to go see it." Because originally she goes, "Hey, can we go see Barbie?" I go, "Fuck yeah, we can go see Barbie." I didn't think you'd want to go see it, and she goes, "I didn't think you'd want to go see it." I was like, "You fucking kidding me?" And I didn't watch any. I watched one preview of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "I'm not watching anything else." And we got to the theater late, and we got in there, sat down right when she goes, "You ever feel like dying?" I go, "What the fuck?"
That's awesome.
I
Have you seen the bloopers? Like, I guess in IMAX, at the very end, they had bloopers, but you can find them on TikTok, YouTube. They're funny as hell. They're so good.
I'm not shocked. Margot Robbie is on my short list of yeah, but on my short list of people, if they put something out, I'm gonna go see it. The other person on our list is Charlize Theron. I think
Mhm.
Charlize Theron is the greatest actor.
She's amazing.
I don't think there's anything she can't do. I think if she's in it, I'll go see it. I don't give a fuck what it is.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron is just fantastic. But Margot Robbie's also on that list too after she did I Harley? No, not a Harley. What's the skating movie?
Oh, I, Tanya.
I Tanya. She like really put
Wait.
a
Oh,
yeah.
Margot Robbie. I thought you said Charlize Theron for a second.
Oh, no.
That wasn't her.
Yeah, but it was I Tanya was a movie that did it for me with Margot Robbie because she just crushed it.
Oh yeah, she killed it. Ryan Gosling is surprisingly funny. Like, dude has some comedy chops to him.
He does. And because I'm such a Zac Efron stan, part of me would have rather Zac Efron. One moment that needs to be said was the narrator, Margot Robbie is not the right person to
for ugly crying. Damn straight. I'm glad they brought that up because in the theater while it was happening, I'm like, what do you mean ugly crying? Jesus Christ. Like
because it was supposed to be the comedian Amy Schumer. She was originally supposed to be Barbie.
I'm glad that she turned down the project.
I don't know why I don't know if it was pregnancy or whatever, but she turned it down, and I'm kind of glad. And I'm not gonna say I'm a fan of Amy Schumer, but if Amy Schumer is in something, I won't turn it off. I've seen 3 of her stand-ups. I've liked one of them. I've loathed the other 2.
She's fine. I can't even bring up what remarks that she's made that put me off her, but she's made some comments in the past where I'm like, girl, you're not helping us here. But I honestly can't even remember. Like, I've seen some of her movies, again, like you. I won't turn it off, but it's not something like, oh, an Amy Schumer movie. We gotta go see that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go. But where can people find you?
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon, that's important. YouTube, I'm everywhere. Just the Red Dot Comic. If you Google it, I'll show up.
All right. And continuing my theme of word of the day, word of the cat podcast, we have I don't think I did this one. Slipshot. SLIPSHOP. Typically of a person or method of work characterized by a lack of care, thought, or organization. He'd caused many problems with his slipshod management.
I got pregnant by a slipshot.
That was fantastic. Oh my God. Thank you for listening to the Old Man Wade Show. And as always, be excellent to each other. Peace. Oh my God.
Damn it, Wade!